ESPN there in Charlotte sent me a video of her band. You want to see this?
How did he get this?
I guess maybe when we were talking about it or she was talking about it, he just did I don't know how difficult it was to find, but she mentioned she was in a band called the Feral Cats. And it turns out that the Feral Cats, let me find this for you here. It turns out that the Feral Cats is a band out of Youngstown comprised of all people with developmental disabilities. And I assume Jenna, based on her voice, is the one in the dark glasses. She said that she is legally blind. Let me play this here for you. This is them playing at the end of August last year in Youngstown. The Feral Cats. The song is Hey, Hey, Hey. And if you're watching the live stream, you'll see Jenna there behind the microphone because she told us she's a singer. You'll see her there in the glasses. See her there, blue shirt. They have merch and everything. Give me one of them Feral Cat shirts.
Yeah, for real.
So there's a lot of effects on her voice. I kind of like to hear her sing raw. Clearly, they're running the microphone through some kind of processing, but everybody in the band are doing all right. Okay, so her speaking voice is very similar to her singing voice. Okay, I thought maybe she was going to come out like Susan Boyle on America's Got Talent and just, come out with this operatic voice or something. But there it is, the Feral Cats from Youngstown, Ohio. Alan, you guys were talking about wild names. Remember the SNL sketch with Damon Wayans? Do you remember that, where he and Ellen Cleghorn are the camp counselors at the black camp, the summer camp called Camp Ujama? This has got to be mid-90s. It's got to be a 25-year-old sketch.
Yeah. All right, we're going to play Red Rover. Everybody want to play Red Rover? Yeah! What's wrong with you, Lexicon? You too cool to play Red Rover? Maybe you and Minoxidil want to sit on the bench all night. All right, let's pick sides. Latrine, Melanoma, you two are captains.
Melanoma was captain yesterday.
Hey, come on. Hey, what's that all about?
I'm sorry, it's Noxzema, sir. She and Algebra have been ganging up on Purina and Chlamydia all day.
Oh, boy. And you can figure out where it goes from there. Like the Aaron bit.
Yeah.
Key and Peele, where he's the school teacher in a white school, and he doesn't believe how they're pronouncing their names. What's your name? Denise?
D-Nice.
D-Nice? Alan, 12 kids is nothing. Screamin' Jay Hawkins had 73 kids. Well, yeah, he was putting a spell on everyone. I assumed that they were just under his spell and that he was hypnotizing them into becoming pregnant with his children. I don't know. Alan Cox Show After Hours line. For people who want to leave us messages there, you can. It's 216-986-8903.
Hey, Alan, it's Scott in Brunswick. I got a better idea for Cockstock. Why don't you book Dick and the Kettering Banjo Society and have Jenna's band, the Feral Cats, open for them? And then maybe at the end, they can play together, like you see at the Rock Hall inductions. I'd definitely buy a ticket to that for like $2 max. Either way, I think it's a great idea. Hit the show.
I will pay $2 maximum for that ticket, he says. I would have to think of the overhead.
Yeah, that's a lot of overhead.
Feral Cats looks like Earth, Wind, and Fire. It looks like they had, 16 people in that band. In this all-staff meeting that we had yesterday, they were kind of giving us nothing specific, but the broad strokes of all these events that we're going to be doing over the course of the next year. And there's some very exciting things coming up, like big live events we're going to be doing. Not just this show, but the radio station. We will be going back to Boston Mills Brandywine, by the way, next month for the return of the Polar Blast Battle. We did this for many, many years at Boston Mills Brandywine, and then COVID cut everybody's legs out from under them. And so we haven't done it in 3 years. 2020. Did we do 2020?
We did 2020.
So 2021, 2022.
Mary
So
won.
2 years we haven't done it.
You dyed your beard and eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Poundcake ate the pepper, and I got the bowl cut. That is still my license photo.
And the photo when you call me.
Yes.
When you call me, it shows up full screen on my phone.
On your phone?
Mhm.
So I will have all of the details for you Monday around 4:30, and then we'll start putting people on my team. The way that we do it is each one of us has a team of 5 listeners, and we're the captains. And so we'll do it week by week. So we'll kick it off by putting people on my team, the Coxsicles, and we'll start that around 4:30 on Monday. And I will have full details for you. I'll give you the when and the where, and we'll have entertainment, and it's going to be a lot of fun. If you've ever joined us for a Polar Blast battle in the past, you kind of know what you're getting into. If you haven't, be a great, the triumphant return would be a great first time for you to join us. So Monday I'll have all the details for the 2023 Alan Cox Show Polar Blast battle. The 11th! That can't be right. No, they're counting. That can't be right. The 11th annual? I guess so. I didn't realize we've been doing it that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that started
I know it
when
predates
you first got
you.
here.
Yeah, the 11th annual Alan Cox Show Polar Blast battle at Boston Mills Brandywine. So that'll be fun. Jeremy Renner, his sister was giving him a head massage or something, yeah, right? Sponge bath? His sister was giving him a sponge bath?
What are you doing, stepsister?
Oh, God.
No, but his sister was like rubbing his head or something.
Oh, okay.
Because they keep doing Jeremy Renner updates.
There was a Damar Hamlin update that's very encouraging.
Yeah, they said he's doing well, right?
Yeah, they said he can communicate by writing, and it seems like he asked who won the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's
They had
seems
to
be
tell him
all there.
They had to tell him nobody won, but Cincinnati was ahead.
Right.
Yeah. This is a career killer, right?
For him?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean, they pay him about $1 million a year, so he's not a high value target.
Right.
But I don't know how.
I mean,
you come back.
I don't think he should. I think medically it might be, but it's also one of those things that's a complete and total bummer because he hasn't been in the league long enough to get a pension. So whatever they owe him this season, that's all they have to pay him.
Yeah.
Because of how their collective bargaining agreement is set up. So I don't know if he'll be able to come back from this, if doctors will ever clear him to play again, because it seems pretty unlikely that they won't. But there are crazy stories where sometimes people can make a recovery and he can get back to being his full self.
Well, obviously it was an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing anybody could have predicted. But I
if
don't know if that's indicative of him having
some sort of condition,
some kind of underlying condition, and I don't know that there's any way for them to make that determination. But, you know, there's other guys on other teams who now go, Jesus Christ, could this happen to me?
Yeah.
It could happen to any of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that it could. I don't know that this was
Why couldn't it?
Because it was an accident in that it happened. But if he had some kind of underlying condition that caused an arrhythmia in that exact moment, it had to be like wrong place, wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have to figure out what they're going to do with this game because it throws everything into disarray. And this is kind of what I was talking about when I played the Shannon Sharp Skip Bayless thing the other day, where I didn't think the Skip Bayless tweet was a big deal. I think people were really overreacting to the Skip Bayless tweet because you give it about 12 hours and sports fans don't care anymore. They're bitching about their fantasy teams messed up.
I don't listen to
people
those sports
who are,
fans, though.
But that's a lot of people.
I know they are.
More people than Skip
But there's a lot of
Bayless.
people that are stupid, and I don't like to
But they're
listen to
sports
them.
fans. They're like, I got
Right,
money
a lot
on
of
this game.
stupid
What's going to
people.
happen to my
Yes,
money?
Right, but I'm more worried about the human life that is in the balance, and then all the players that are shaken up by it. And
that's you.
Yeah.
A lot of people are animals. They couldn't give a fat frog's
And I don't
ass.
think we should give in to those people every time. Because one of the things that makes me insane is when people will be like, oh, everybody's so soft these days.
I'm not saying that. I just think people overreacted to his tweet. I think people overreacted to his tweet.
I think because of who he is, they reacted how they should react to his tweet because he is constantly saying stuff like this. He was just diminishing Shannon Sharp's career a few weeks ago.
He was?
Yeah, he's just a troll, and I don't even know how he ever even got to where he is because nothing he has ever said is actually interesting. He's just someone that tries to rile people up, and it's the most boring, uninteresting kind of sports talk, but people take the bait every time.
Well, they pay him a lot of money. That must be why.
It's insane. I don't know. I don't understand why.
Well, Bengals were ahead 7-3 at the time of the game got stopped, so now they have to figure out what they're going to do because they're like, well, we could reschedule the game, which would...
It's so simple. Play it on Madden. You play it out a bunch of times on Madden. You do like and then they go, okay, based on the simulations that we played on Madden, so-and-so wins that game. Now you do have to...
I was reading an article in Sports Illustrated. It was making my head explode because they were like, they could either declare the game a tie or they could declare it no contest. And if they did that, then there'd be ripple effects through the entire postseason for other teams because they're like, okay, well, this team's 8-8, but now these guys, you got to treat them like it's 17 weeks and not 18 weeks. Oh, my God. I was like, holy cow. So it's more than just these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely affects the whole league, but there's also, it's so late in the season that to try, like one thing I saw that they might add a bye week for replay that game week 18 and play that game in the NFC playoffs, and then the week after they play the AFC playoffs and the NFC gets a bye week. So that would be an interesting way of doing it. But
is there any scenario there? Is there any scenario there in which the Cleveland Browns benefit?
No, because the Browns can't. They've been eliminated.
There's no kind of who's a Madoo? What's the word? There's no kind of hookah-majoo that they could no kind of hullabaloo that they can do with the numbers.
No, the only
make
thing
that happen.
The only thing the Browns can do now that would benefit them is keep the Steelers from getting into the playoffs.
Well, they're 8-8.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, who knows?
Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season.
True. Well, the Browns are in Pittsburgh to play the Steelers.
That's what the Browns really have to play for.
This Sunday, and we'll do the last Cox out. We'll do a watch party because we can't do a pregame because they're away. But we'll do it at the Ivy on Sunday afternoon. If you want to join us, we'd love to have you.
What time does it start?
1 to 3. And you got a shot to win the Bahamas trip courtesy of Bud Light.
You can't watch the end of the game. You have to leave at 3. There's no 1 to question mark and Alan Cox.
I'll be there from 1 to 3. Yeah. You can be there whenever you like.
Oh, gotcha.
That's right. 3 o'clock, they kick everybody out.
Bye.
They said 1 to 3 and we mean it.
That's right. So, but that Jeremy Renner, boy, I mean, that's wild. They said his chest collapsed. The whole right side of his chest cavity.
So he got fully run over.
He got fully crushed. He was bleeding from the head and other areas of his body that a neighbor doctor had to do a tourniquet on his leg.
God.
He got run over by that snowcat. And the 911, I guess TMZ got the call log. I don't know that anybody has the audio yet, but they got the call log, and they were like, Jeremy Renner was like, you could hear him like moaning in the background, and they said that his upper torso had been completely crushed. So it is amazing this guy's even alive.
I was going to say, I wonder how much physical therapy he's going to have once he's like out of the hospital. Or do you get out of the hospital for that? Like, do you just sit in rehab or something?
Well, I mean, once you're, as I understand it, you got to be well enough to operate on your own, and then you go do some PT, I guess. I guess it depends on how long it takes him or how bad he's... he had gotten out. Yeah, we kind of talked about this yesterday. He had gotten out, and the thing started to roll, and he was trying to get back into the driver's seat, and it ran him over. They said he wasn't impaired. It wasn't like he was drunk or anything like that. But, yeah, he got fully run over. Oh. Oof. You know, we were talking about his movies yesterday. I completely forgot he's in those Mission Impossible movies, too, with Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah. Well,
those are fun.
Like round 4, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. But, yeah, there's a video today of his sister
Tom
kind of
Cruise is
rubbing
like,
his
I
head.
wouldn't have got run over. I would have tucked and rolled. And
Yeah, this guy's, he would have jumped off the cliff with a parachute on his back. Tragic accident is what they call it.
Yeah.
So this guy went from talking about the new season of Mayor of Kingstown to now being in the hospital. And he's a young man, Bill. He's 51. He's very
I
young.
wouldn't say that's young.
He's young. He's spry. He's so young. I mean, he's barely
I don't know if he's
spry. Come
He
on.
was.
He's spry.
He's not
I didn't remember him in 28 Weeks Later. Remember
Never saw those.
28 Days Later?
I never saw those.
Those are great.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in the sequel. Maybe I've never seen it. But yeah, he's in a handful of those Mission Impossible movies. He did, you want to see a Jeremy Renner movie. Watch Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. I'm like,
I saw that.
who did they have compromising photos of to get these two pretty big actors to do a Hansel and Gretel shoot 'em up movie that
Anytime you name like one of those childhood fairy tale movies that they turn into like an action one.
Yes.
Poundcake's like, oh, I saw that one.
Of course he did.
Well, you know what?
He hasn't seen Star Wars, but he's like, oh, I saw the Hansel and Gretel one. And my favorite movie is the Hugh Jackman one with the vamp.
Oh, Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Van Helsing.
He loves he don't even like B grade movies.
Yeah.
He likes D and Z grade movies.
I did not go see that movie because I wanted to see it. I went on a date, and that was the first time someone ever pulled the whole popcorn stunt on me. That's
People
why
actually
I
do that?
He did it. He did it in that movie because
He popped a hole through the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Was it
no,
a bag
he
or
did
the?
Not.
Yes, he did.
So salty.
Bag.
There
Those
was-
bags are long.
And I remember it was that movie because it was either
Why you got to ruin my popcorn?
it was either out for a while and no one was in the theater, or it was a matinee and I was in college.
Well, it's
and-
also a movie that nobody saw anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I don't remember.
It made money.
Why there was nobody in the theater, but it was pretty much us and maybe like a few more people in the back. But I remember he took my hand. I was just like, oh, this is sweet. How romantic. And then he put it in the popcorn. I was like, oh. And yeah, there was nothing else in the popcorn. We smashed it, and he did the whole popcorn trick. That was the first time anyone's ever done it on me. And I laughed.
First and last?
Yeah, because rather than that, we had no shame. So he was like, no popcorn needed. Just go do your thing.
Yeah, I didn't
Now,
realize.
did you do head in the bucket or just hand in the bucket?
It was hand in the bucket.
Head in the bucket.
No, it was hand in the bucket, and then I think he probably removed it. But he had never tried it before, and I'd never tried it before. But people in movie theaters don't have any shame anymore. There's no hiding it. I mean, they may have a blanket, but then you know what they're doing underneath that blanket.
Well, because movie theater seats are so far apart now. You used to be shoulder to shoulder with people.
But even still, I don't even think they'll stop you anymore. They're so happy to have people in the theater. They're like, as long as there's no kids
Get
around.
in here, you degenerates.
Yeah, as long as there's no kids around.
You mean
and
the
you're not
people
making
who
a lot of noise.
the people who work there will let you do what? Yeah, because they don't want to be. They're not trying to be the hall monitor.
They're like, they got AMC Premium Plus, so they can do what they want. That means they're allowed to bang in the theater. You want to take your kids to a movie, then you take them to one elsewhere.
You better be in the non-premium seats because there's some penetration going on in those back 3 rows.
Because I can just imagine like some teenager working. How awkward would that be when you're going to stop like 2 college students and they're like, hey, sorry, you can't, do any hand
They don't
stuff.
care. They're making $9 an hour. They're not going to stop anybody.
Yeah, they're not going to stop it.
Unless you're smoking or something. But
Also,
even that, like
how long did it even take?
What take?
him and you in the popcorn.
Like into the movie, or how long did it take for him to get off?
What do you think?
Well, he didn't.
How long was the movie?
I don't remember, but him, we just messed around for a second, and then we finished up after the movie in the car.
The movie was 88 minutes. They couldn't even get all the movies you want to be short, and they're not. And then a movie like this, which made a lot of money, by the way. I thought the thing
Really?
flopped. Made $230 million.
Hansel and
It was
Gretel.
Paramount's 4th highest grossing film of 2013.
That is shocking.
Yes.
God, yeah.
That must have done well overseas or something. Or is that how much it made domestically?
Oh, I don't know. But I think wasn't that back when they were they were doing like Abraham Lincoln kills vampires
Right,
and
so
then
that-
Snow
they did
White.
the
and-
Huntsman and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. I, Frankenstein.
Back when they wanted to make Harriet the movie, but make it with Anne Hathaway. They wanted
What?
That
Harriet
was the
Tubman?
thing. Yeah, Harriet Tubman. They were going to make it. I don't know if it was a joke or a meme.
Yes,
going
no one was going to make Harriet Tubman with Anne Hathaway.
Everyone was so
Jesus.
mad.
I got a break. I'm going to have those Chimera tickets for you. Cleveland Legends come back to do 2 nights at the legendary Agora Theater, and they're bringing friends with them. So if you want to go see Chimera, they are doing the 12th and the 13th of May. That's a Friday and Saturday. I'll get you tickets for that Saturday show. So we'll do that after the break. And then I'll have some more money for you, another $1,000 at 4:30 for you to go fund yourself coming up.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio.